Despite the title of the video, I do think that Mel's content has been really good for us, really good for men in general and around the world. You know, uh, One of the good things is that it promotes self-improvement and, helps you trying to figure out certain things that I think a young man wouldn't know, especially if they're fatherless and don't have like a male figure in his life. But I've alluded to this before, to where, I'm all in support of men's content, but I feel like it's kind of going into the direction of radical feminism, to where feminism was definitely necessary at a certain point, but then it got to a point where it was more about dominance over the other gender rather than working together and getting the same amount of rights and opportunities. And I think that male content has kind of gone into that direction. Not saying that all male content creators have gone in that direction, but, and I think that the reason why it has failed in some aspects is because of we've had these type of people like, the Fresh and Fits and the Andrew Tates and the Just Pearly things that have kind of become the face of male's content, although they are very controversial, very wrong about things, and a lot of times they can be very disrespectful to women. Not saying that they are all the time, whatever. Not saying that they don't ever have any points, but they definitely have had some things that are disrespectful to women. While they have like some content to where they can speak to women in not so much of a good way and not respectful. You can have these conversations without having to be demeaning or disrespectful to women. I've had them on my channel a couple of times, so I think the big question to why I think the content has failed in some aspects is because what is the end goal? Is it a means to an end, or is it just one of those things where it's just like we're going to make this content just for entertainment and just to shit on women and make them look bad? And I think the internet too is shows some of the worst parts of women that isn't really, it's out there, whatever, but it's not that it's not most women, is what I would say. And that's what I've noticed, like just, going out into the world. That's what I've always noticed and stuff, yes, you got your crazies and everything like that, but I think that the male content kind of focuses too much on that instead of focusing on like what can be like the good things about women. Like there's always going to be unrealistic women with unrealistic expectations. You're always going to have a Cheesecake Factory girl. You're always going to have a girl that wants a six-figure man without offering anything in return. You're always going to have these unrealistic expectations. You're always going to have people that's going to be radical on the far left and the far right of men and women. Leave those people alone. Let them do what they're going to do. Let's focus on the people in the middle, the majority, which I feel like is the majority of people who are willing to change, and the men that are willing to change too, and figure out something where we can bring these people together to where we're not having this constant gender war, which I don't even believe is really happening. I just think there's a lot of videos just focusing too much on the negativities of each gender. But I don't think, like, for example, I don't think most women would react how the girl like the girl from Cheesecake Factory act, or the Omelette girl in the past couple of events. Because if you look in these comment sections and you read most of the women's comments, they disagreed with a lot of these things. They disagreed with the Cheesecake Factory girl. They disagreed with the Omelette girl. And of course, you had a few women down there who obviously you're going to have those radical women on, uh, who have these unrealistic expectations and also have these type of negative thoughts towards men and thinking that they're entitled to everything without ever bringing a man anything. And of course, you're going to have those men who feel like they are entitled and kind of take advantage of women and things like that. I'm not saying there's any bad men or anything like that. I'm just saying let's focus on the ones who are willing to change and bring them together. The main thing that I have noticed is just that we focus too much on the problem. Like there's always videos every day in male's content of this woman said this woman did this woman did that. And I do understand that there was a time when that it was necessary to outline all of the things that frustrated men because of there was just content on mainstream television that got women to say their thoughts, and whether they were right or wrong, they say their thoughts about men uh, being uninterrupted. And while I think that was necessary, I think that was overcorrection. And I think that there's a bit of overcorrection that's going on in the men's content space, to where it's like, okay, what is the goal? Where are we headed to? How are we going to change? What's the solution? We know the problem, and that's that. But yeah, I just wanted to give my little 2 cents about just thinking about all the like male content and everything that's been going on in the space, and just thinking about what I want to do to contribute to that, to making things better for just men and women, because if we both want each other, that's apparent, no matter how much there are men who go into the MGTOW, or a woman will be like, I don't need a man. Most of us want each other. So I'm just thinking about ways to where we can get to that point to where the internet's not filled with these gender war traps and stuff like that. Because out here in reality, it's not as bad as we think. I think that we do have things that we have to work on, and men and women have to look within themselves to figure out what those things are. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. See you guys in the next video. BQ Quick Review. Now we do.
Pick up the pieces and patches, I gotta be, cause the edges are jagged. I do not call my peace lessons with real beef, they be squeezing them ratchets. You not the same person that you on internet, I've been smelling some catfish. Don't condone violence, cause we move in silence, you know that they got it like Metal Gear Solid. Pick up the pieces and patches, I gotta be, cause the edges are jagged. I do not call my peace lessons with real beef, they be squeezing them ratchets. You not the same person that you on internet, I've been smelling some catfish. Don't condone violence, cause we move in silence, you know that they got it like Metal Gear Solid.